Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Martin here from Kodiak. Your favorite Chad from Poland is back. What's going on, guys? What's poppin'? Welcome back. So today, we're gonna talk about why being attractive actually makes dating harder. And again, yes, I know, this is one of those rare topics that nobody talks about online, but it's a real thing, and I've certainly experienced it. And it's a paradox in many ways. And if you're an attractive guy and you're watching me, and you're still struggling with attracting women or with getting dates, well, this might be one of the reasons why that is. So, in this video, I'm gonna cover a few points, and I'm just gonna jump right to it, man. So, first of all, when you're attractive as a man, women expect more from you, in the sense that, okay, you're a premium vehicle. You look very sexy on the outside. You're handsome, you're tall, you're masculine, okay? Maybe you're jacked. That's even better. And now, when women are dating you or when they're meeting you, you need to everything in your life needs to match that energy. Otherwise, it's going to be a turnoff. And nobody talks about this. Frankly, because very few men have experience with this. So, the bottom line is this: when you're attractive, everything else in your life needs to be on point. Because, when she meets you initially, she wants the same type of energy from you in all the other areas of your life. And again, yes, I know, this is a strange thing to say, but it's absolutely real. Because if you're not him, let's say you're attractive, but you're a bum, well, then it's going to hurt you a lot. Because you're not him. Okay, which actually leads me to my next point. A lot of women are just going to be attracted to you just for the sake of, of your image, just because of your status. Because being attractive as a man is a status symbol. Definitely, for sure, bro. Because all these average guys, all these mediocre guys, they're not, putting anything on the table. They don't bring anything on on the table. But with you, sure, you're attractive, you're good looking, right? That's already a form of status. But if that's the only thing that you bring to the table, then you're gonna struggle. And I find that usually a lot of women are just going to date you just because you're attractive. It's vanity. That's really what it comes down to. And so a lot of women are just going to be with you, they're just going to talk to you just based on the fact that you're attractive. Because you're a status symbol, and you actually make the girl a lot more attractive. She's raising her value by being with you, okay? Because of your image. Everything today, especially now with social media and with TikTok, and based on how digitalized the world is, everything is about status. Everything is about being polished on the outside, being perfect, being tall, masculine, good looking, being sexy. So many things are based on our appearance today, and it plays a big role today, guys. So a lot of girls are just going to date you. They're just going to try to be with you just for the sake of your attractiveness, okay? Because they know that other women are gonna look at her a lot more when she's with you, or a lot of men in general are gonna think that she's a lot more attractive when she's dating you. Because you're a Chad, you're good looking, right? And everything. And it's a real thing. And again, this is rarely talked about on the internet, but it's a real thing. I feel like when you talk to women in general as an attractive guy, sure, guys, you're going to get a lot of that upfront attraction, that front end attraction, but it's usually very superficial. It's only surface level attraction. It doesn't really go beyond that, which is usually, especially if you're a guy like me, you're a one woman type of man. You want to be in a committed relationship. A lot of girls are just not gonna put you in that box. They're just gonna think that you're this player, that you're this douche, right? You're an arrogant prick, and that you're just gonna dump her, like she's a nobody, and that you have a roster full of women. And I talk a lot about this in depth on a lot of my videos. But the point is, that attraction is very superficial. I find that this attraction is usually very superficial with a lot of women. I mean, sure, every now and then you're gonna find the girl that really digs you and she's really with you because she likes you. But let's just flip the script, guys. You know, think about it like this. Imagine if you were to be an attractive lady and you were walking down the street. Most guys are only gonna date you just because you're attractive or you're beautiful, you're pretty. And we all know all these women that are, you know, some like, especially, I mean, some of us, we all know that one chick that's super pretty. She has, you know, she's perfect looking. She's thin, she's sexy, and everything else in her life is a complete mess. She has a bad attitude. She has no personality. She's mean, she's nasty. She's lazy, she's smoking weed, whatever, right? And guys are only with her just because of the sake that she's attractive. She's beautiful. That's the only reason why guys desire that chick. And, on the flip side, the same thing can happen to you, which is why it's so important to be a man who's successful across the board. Okay, otherwise, these women are not going to take you seriously. And I see this a lot in Poland, because Eastern European women are very, they want to commit to men. They're very, like, long-term oriented, meaning they only want to date men who have that provider energy, who can be who can be marriage material. Okay, that's what it comes down to. So, number 3, when you're attractive as a man, you're usually gonna encounter a lot of jealousy and hate from other men. Meaning, guys, women actually pick up on that. They pick on that little, like, energy that you have with other men. They can notice it right away, bro. They see that competition. They see that they see that, that socialization in general becomes difficult for attractive men, which in turn actually makes it more difficult for you, because you're not being invited to places. You're not at the meetups. You're not at the family gatherings or like friends gatherings, right? You're not being invited. You're not a part of the group. You're an outsider. You're just some attractive guy who's coming in, right, from time to time. And women can pick up on that. They see if other men are competing with you. And a lot of women today, they have a lot of friends. They're surrounded by a whole bunch of men. So this actually makes it less likely for her to commit to you, because a lot of women today, they have a lot of options. They're usually, especially if she's going to compare, like she's going to try to weigh down her options with you, they're actually much more likely to pick the safer option over you, because you're not long-term material. They have this prejudice, this assumption that you're not him. You're not going to be the safe guy. Okay, number 4. If you're an attractive man and you've had a little glow up face like me, you've been around the block for a while, you've taken the time to be better, you're putting in effort, you're improving your looks, your money, your status, your fitness, but particularly, if you're taking care of your appearance and you're nurturing it, I feel like, because I was like, when I was younger, bro, I was unattractive. I was really, really ugly. And, when you have that, when you have that kind of past with you, it's almost like you become jaded. You become closed off, because you'll remember all these things that happened to you in the past, that rejection, that emotional, toxicity, the toxic energy from people. You remember how people used to manipulate you, how people, used to just use you for your looks. And that thing stays with you, bro. It never, it never disappears. It never leaves you. Which actually, this is going to carry over with you in the future. So when you're a grown man, you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s, you're still going to have that thought at the back of your mind. So this is a real thing, guys. You're not going to be as open, and you're not going to be as available to a lot of these women. Even when they're dating you, I feel like chicks can pick up on this really fast. They know if a guy is available or not, or if he's been hurt in the past. Because you don't want to be closed off, but at the same time, this makes it a lot more difficult to form relationships with people, because you've been vulnerable in the past. you've opened yourself up and you've been hurt. You know, people have, you know, crossed that line, and, you know, it's a real thing. You've been damaged. You know, people have stringed you along just because of your looks, and they've, you know, they've been mean, they were bad, and you don't want to experience that again, which is why you're kind of jaded. You don't really want to open yourself up, okay? And last but not least, number 5, and I think, in my opinion, this is one of the, if not the biggest reason why you're struggling, or why attractive men are struggling with women in general. Number 5, despite being attractive, women are not going to see you as a viable long-term option. They're going to completely overlook you as a marriage material type of man. And again, this is something that nobody talks about. No one, bro, no one. They all think, especially all the, you know, black pillars, they all think that it's all about being attractive, it's all about being tall, it's all about being, you know, having, you know, a jawline and shit like that, without really, you know, giving it any thought. But the bottom line is this: women are actually much more likely to pick the safer option over you. You know, even if you're rich, even if you have money, even if you're a total package, you know, you're the complete package, the women are still much more likely to pick the guy who's average, he's mediocre, he has a stable job, he's, you know, average in every single category. Women want to commit to that guy much more than they are with you. Because they know that when they're with you, bro, it's just going to be, you know, it's almost like you're just going to be a little ride on, you know, on the playground. You're not going to be taken seriously. And this is a real pain in the ass. And the reason for that is because a lot of girls, they've been hurt by attractive men. They've dated some chads in the past who just dumped them, bro. They didn't really care about them. They didn't care. And so later on, they develop this belief that you're the bad guy, you're evil, that they should never trust you because you're a threat. Just like how, you know, just like when it comes to men. I mean, this is all circling back, bro. You're a threat to other men. So especially if she has some family members that she really trusts and she has a lot of faith into, she's just not gonna, like, you know, she's not gonna, you know, give you that little spot. That slot is gonna be closed all the time when she's with you. Even though she's gonna sleep with you, she's gonna bang, bro, she wants to be with you. Like, a part of her really desires you. But on the other hand, she doesn't want to be with you that way. And this is a real struggle, bro. And nobody talks about this. This is, you know, nobody really, you know, talks about this, guys. You know, they all think that being attractive is just some easy life, man. They all think that it's all sunshine and rainbows, and it's just like a, you know, smooth walk in the park. It's not it, bro. It's not easy peasy. So, which is why I feel like, you know, you have to find a girl who's just gonna, you know, see that value in you. She's gonna see that potential, which is not easy. But I think if you try hard enough, you're gonna find that one chick. And it's a real, that's the deal, bro. You're going to struggle with this. So, that's it, man. So it's like that saying, every cloud has a silver lining. Meaning, yes, there's a lot of upside to being attractive. We have a lot of perks. We have a lot of things that work in our favor. But at the same time, you know, there's also the bad side. The negatives that nobody really talks about. And it's a real thing, guys. So, anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna, you know, wrap it up here because it's getting a little late now. So thank you so much for watching. Guys, please check out my Instagram account. I'm gonna pin the link somewhere down below. And that's it. Stay strong, guys. Peace.